Good evening. My name is Severin Garrett, and welcome to our team call. This is Team for Life and Team Propel. We are thrilled to have Whitney and her team, Team Propel, with us, and they're going to be with us for a while. We're excited. Twice a month, we're going to get together 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for 30 minutes. And we're going to bring you guys some kind of valuable training, resources, tools every week. We are thrilled to have Whitney sharing tonight. Whitney and her team, I know it's a team effort, have just recently reached a big promotion. She is our newest QNMD, Qualified National Marketing Director. We are so excited for you, Whitney, and your team. I know it takes a lot of time and effort from all of you all. So the reason I say that is because you're going to really want to pay attention and take notes tonight. Whitney's going to be sharing with us about her daily method of operation, what she teaches her team. In other words, what they do on a daily basis to really have an impact on their business. So I'll just open it or give it over to you, Whitney, and let you share. And then you guys hang on, take notes. And if you have questions, we're going to open up the floor in just a few minutes.
Good. Well, Severin and I are so excited to do this. Severin and I have linked arms for the last almost 6 years, and we meet once a week on a leadership call. And so we've loved collaborating together. And we were just talking about how we can have so much more of an impact when we're learning from different people, different seasons of life, different perspectives. And so that is what our heart's desire is that we can share what's working, the celebrations we're having, and then we can lean into one another. So we're just excited, especially as we get started in the fall, to pick some really important topics and things that are very relevant to having a greater impact, and just bouncing off with one another, doing some really great training. So tonight, what I want to share with you guys is just the simplicity of using, working and growing this business, the tools that you can use to do that. And I just want to give an overview on it. And I'm going to share a couple different resources. And so if you want that, put a comment in the chat and then we can text it to you or send it over to you. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to start here. All right. Can you see this? Okay, great. All right. So what I want to first start with is, whether you have joined as a partner just to get your product for the best price and maybe help a few people, or whether you really want to create an income and help a lot of people. We know our income is a reflection of our impact. And we all have different reasons for doing it. You could give all of your money away to charity, or you can use it to support your family and the things that you guys have within your budget. But in order to do one or the other, what I have found is, the question, how to be successful. We have to have a plan, and then you have to work your plan. And so, and another bit of encouragement that I often share is that the only way to fail at this, whether you're helping 5 people or 500 people, is just to quit and not do anything. So you can't fail. It's just you learn, you keep going, and we help each other. So whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. And I have seen time and time again, it is consistency over time doing income producing activities, whether you have 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes, an hour, it will grow with consistency. So I just encourage you to carve out that time each day, Monday through Friday, and then watch it grow. So this is what I encourage everyone to do first. When you start, you want to create what we call a memory jogger. And I'm going to scroll over so you can see, we'll come back to the top 10 people, but this is just a simple template and it has 100 slots on it, right? So you can just use it for names if you already have their phone numbers, but it's really just to have a plan that you can work. And so what I have done, what I encourage everyone to do, is to make a list of 100 people. We all know most people know 1,500 plus people. If you think about your friends, I call it a Frank's list. So your friends, your relatives, your acquaintances, your neighbors, friends that have kids, and then go through even just going through your cell phone and looking for who does your hair, who takes care of your pets, who does your yard. I mean, just thinking of everyone you know and making a list of 100 people. So we want to start with this because this is what we want to work every single day. You've got to have a list of 100 people. Okay, so then your top 10 people on your memory jogger. Every week, you want to have 10 people that you are actively in conversation with and you are moving them to the next step. So this is like your top priority. So you're moving them to action. So you have 100 people, then every week, you're going to have 10 people that you're going to work on, you're going to be sharing with, you're going to be following up with that week. So I'm going to say to that again. So Frank's list is what I typically call it to help jog your memory of people, friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids. So anybody that has kids, and then go through your cell phone and don't prejudge, don't say, well, they wouldn't be interested in health, but let them make that decision and just put the names down. This memory jogger of 100 people, I typically keep it in my purse all the time because, like I said, I am working it all the time. So if I meet somebody at the grocery store, if I meet somebody at the park, if I'm having a conversation at the ball field, I'll just write their name down so that I don't forget who I was talking to. And for me, the awesome thing about this business is that you can do it on the go. So you can weave it into your life. It works best that way a lot of times because you're meeting people, you're having conversations all day long every day. So I encourage you, if you've not done it yet, have 100 people, and then you want to have 10 people that you're actively working with. And then you're constantly moving them. So for example, if you have 10 people on here, once they become a customer or a partner, now they move over to a partner or customer list, and then you move somebody else on here. So you're just constantly working it. I'm always praying about who somebody else I could be sharing with, who needs the gift of health, who needs hope. But just praying about it and working your list. So this is the memory jogger, and we can send this to you guys if you'd like it. And then I want to share with you guys a DMO plan. Can you guys see this? So I know some of the font is tiny depending on if you're on your phone or not, but we can always just send it to you and you can make it bigger. But the idea is that we have to have a plan to work a plan, and you want to be actively setting your plan, your weekly goals at the beginning of the week. So in other words, it's always going to be a challenge if you wake up on Monday and you're like, what do I do today or Tuesday or Wednesday? Because my day is very full, and if I don't already know what I'm going to do each of those days, it takes more time just trying to figure it out. So what works for me and what I encourage y'all to do, sit down on a Saturday or a Sunday, print one of these out before your week starts, and then you're going to plan out every day. Now, what I want to tell you guys is I'm going to go through these activities and tell you the income producing activities you can do to grow. This can take 15 minutes a day. This can take 30 minutes. It's whatever you want to invest in is what you're going to get out of it. But it is not does not have to be 2 hours a day, because this business is meant to be worked consistently over time. With little bits of time. A lot of times in my day, it's stolen moments. So if I'm sitting and waiting at an appointment, or if I have a child in piano lessons for 30 minutes, I'll just know that day what I need to do, and I'll just keep working on it. So I'm going to start at the beginning. So the most income producing activity is at the very top, and it says 2 new people. So sharing and having conversations with people is what your business is going to grow the most in doing. So, what I would encourage you to do, the most important thing is to sit down and remember you're working your memory jogger. So, if you have 100 names, when you sit down on Saturday or Sunday to plan out your week, go ahead and write down one or two people for each day that you want to either have a conversation with, pick up the phone, invite them to an event, share a resource. You want to some way connect with them. That's going to be the most income producing. So I would encourage you to put a name in each of these blocks and set your own daily activity. So maybe it's one person, maybe it's two, maybe it's three. Again, the more people you talk to, the more people you're going to be able to help. So you want to talk to people. All right. The second thing that you want to make sure that you're doing every day is following up with the people. So, for example, if you talk to Susie on Monday, then you're going to want to follow up with Susie the next day and ask her, did you get a chance to watch that video? Or what did you think of the event that you came to? Would you like to get started with Juice Plus? So these are the two most income producing activities that you want to do every day. And again, if you want to put 15 minutes into your business a day, you will still grow, because think about it, you're going to talk to 5 new people every week and you're going to follow up with them. And talking to them can be sending a video, it can be inviting them to an event, it can be doing a 3-way phone call. It's some way connecting. So, okay, so you want to connect with people, you want to follow up. And once you start getting customers, then you can, this is where I would say this is where you plan your week. So maybe you have on Monday, you check in with your customers, see how they're doing with their Juice Plus, send them a word of encouragement. Once you start getting partners, then you want to check in with them and see, who are you talking to? How can I help support you? Do you need any resources? So maybe Monday, you write down your customers and you're going to check on them. Maybe Tuesday, you check on your team members. Maybe Wednesday is when you invite to whatever event is coming up. And then maybe Thursday, you think of one person that you could invite to a 3-way call. So, and it can be a 3-way text, it could be a 3-way phone call, it could be a 3-way Zoom, but you're inviting them to hear someone else's story or to learn something new. Maybe every Friday, that's when you put up a really great, meaningful post on social media that has to do with health and Juice Plus, and you weave it together. So what I want to encourage you guys is, you've got to have your list of 100 people, because remember, that's what's going to fill in your calendar every week. And write their names down. And then you want to put down who you're following up with for the week. Those are your most income producing. Depending on where you are in your growth as a partner, you may have 25 customers. So maybe you check on one a day. Or if you want to do, maybe you just have 5 customers, so you check on them one day a week. But the reality is, if you have 5 customers, as long as you're checking on them once or twice a month, that's sufficient. So that's why I want you guys to utilize this chart to make it work for you. I would say that the other thing that would be very good, most of you guys are on Voxer. That if you're not on there, then talk to your sponsor or your leader, talk to me, talk to Severin. Voxer is the most efficient way that we communicate with Juice Plus as far as getting information out to our active partners. And it's just a simple app where we can share events and communicate. It's kind of like a walkie-talkie. So if you're not on Voxer, let's get you on there so you can be in the loop. And that is something I would encourage you to check once a day, because you want to stay connected to your team as you're growing. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was going to say. The other thing as far as growth is, you want to have a plan, you want to work your plan, but you also want to stay connected to your leader into opportunities like tonight, because isolation is your biggest enemy. So, if you're not making the effort to connect, then it's easy to get discouraged and it's easy to feel like you're floundering and you don't know what to do next. But if you're showing up to these calls, if you're plugging into the events, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's in person, you're going to feel supported and you're going to feel equipped to be able to grow. So those are my biggest, recommendations. And I always like to just keep it very simple. We get paid as partners to talk to people. So that's why I encourage you, have your memory jogger, have a plan every week of who you want to reach out to on there, and then follow up with them. Those are your biggest income producing activities. And just, stay connected to our community, because that's when you're going to just feel supported and really encouraged, and you're going to learn. Like, this is just one tool that you can use, but every time we start doing these team calls and you're connecting, you're going to learn something. I always, whenever I'm listening, I always take away at least one or two things that I'm like, oh, I could implement that, or that makes sense. I'm going to tweak this. So that is really the core of what I just wanted to share with you guys. And Severin, I know tomorrow I was going to tell everybody I'm doing a simple solutions call where I'm going to do an overview of, you know, really why we need Juice Plus, how there's a gap in our nutrition, and then Juice Plus is the solution. And I'll share my story, and we may have one or two other people sharing. So that's a great opportunity to invite people to it, to reach out to some new people. And we would love to have you guys there. So if y'all have any questions, or Severin, if you have anything that you'd like to interject, what's worked for you with the DMO, feel free.
I love what you shared, Whitney. We're back to basics and keep it simple. We get paid to talk to people. I mean, I love it. The memory jogger, keeping 100 names on there. It's easy for me to get away from that practice sometimes. So going back to my memory jogger will be a good practice for me. Let's get everybody off mute, and you guys feel free to ask questions of Whitney, and then we're going to talk about celebrations. So obviously we want to be sure you get your questions answered on how to weekly, daily, work with a plan. I think that's most important, but then we can set aside a few minutes for some celebrations as well. What questions do y'all have for Whitney? Great job, Whitney.
I saw Brenda ask for the simple solutions call, so I'll make sure to send that to you, Severin.
Okay.
And I can send you these other resources so you can send to Laura and Brenda.
Perfect. Yes. And you pulled those from the hub, correct?
I pulled them from boards.
Boards, yeah. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How do we get the charts and things that you showed tonight?
Elena will email. You can email Marcia.
Yep.
And then you can print it out. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is very helpful. One thing too, Whitney, I was gonna say, because I've done it both ways where I've written it down on physical paper, and a lot of times people prefer the physical paper. For me, because I'm on the go so much and I'm making calls when I'm on the go with my toddlers, I also have a note in my phone. I have a working list of people I'm in conversation with, or if I'm out and about and someone tells me about a health issue they have, or a health issue their child has, I will immediately, after I'm done speaking with them, go into that note in my phone and I put their name down. I put their whatever ailment they might have, and then I try to figure out a way to help them with that. I'll try to find information for them and I'll send it to them. But for me, that's been a great DMO in a virtual sense if you need that option.
And something else about that too, for those of you guys that are newer and you're still learning about the resources, for example, if Miss Marcia, if you were out and you heard someone say that their grandchild struggles with their immune system or whatever, reach out to Elena or to me, your leader, and just say,
Right.
hey, I wrote this person's name down. Where can I find a resource? And we can help show you how to find a resource or
Okay.
help you get, you know, that's why we're here, because we want to help. So
I thought about 10 people just while you were talking. So yeah, what does DMO stand for?
daily method of operation.
Okay. I figured
It's an
it was
old
something.
military term.
Yeah.
I'm learning the military alphabet.
Wow.
This is something I
Okay.
wanted to do, and some of the little my husband spent 30 years in the Navy. I should know something about it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Love it.
And Severin, something I was thinking about too, it's easy for those of us that have been doing the business a while, it's easy to get caught in doing, I guess, what I call like shuffling papers.
Right.
You feel like I'm working my business, and maybe you're just, I don't know, like making things look prettier or organizing, but you're really not reaching out to one or two people, following up with people. And that's where you're going to see growth. So I know I have to, instead of managing, we have to make sure we're doing those basic activities.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be my holdup. I'm really good at shuffling papers and making things look good and organized, and then I know where everything is, but I don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Miss Marcia, when I email you tonight those documents, if you want to print them out, you can start by writing those 10 names, those first 10 names down on your memory jogger, and then try to
will.
reach out to them.
Yeah.
It's a great practice, and I'm going to do it again. It's been a while since I've created a memory jogger. So even someone like me who's been doing this for 14 years, it's never too late to create a memory jogger and reinvest time in that process. So thank you, Whitney, for encouraging us in that area.
We're never going to run out of people who need help.
No, you're
Right.
right.
Or healing.
Yeah. I'm going to turn off the recording real quick, and I think we might have a few celebrations. Would that be okay?
Yes, that's great.